Yeah!
Hey guys, Bam here, and welcome back to Multiverses University. Today we're going to be talking about a unique state, the double ground bounce. Now, for some of you who are watching right now, you're probably thinking to yourself like, wow, is this some insane new tech that he found out? Maybe he's been labbing deep dark secret, the arcane arts? No, nothing like that, all right? Pretty much this is something that actually has been in this game for quite some time. It's been in the game even from all the way back from Test A. So if you guys were a part of that, then you might have seen this stuff, right? Even if you look back into the open beta, you had situations like this, right? Where people were playing and they would see these double ground bounces. I'll show you a couple here, for example. But one of the biggest things here was the fact that you would see someone, if they're at a low trajectory already from the ground bounce and they're still in hit stun, then they'd go for, of course, another ground bounce. Certain moves are really good at setting it up. They usually were moves that hit people at a low trajectory, so they go into a ground bounce immediately. Then they have enough hit stun to where the opponent would once again enter a second ground bounce. Now, this is something that I've always been really thinking about how to really abuse this mechanic. I was able to do a couple things in open beta with characters like LeBron and Batman, and I'm sure there's a ton of others that had some things. I mean, if you can find it with your character, like a tool that can set this up, it's just a really powerful tool because you get all the time in the world, right? Then it came the release version of Multiverses and didn't really think too much about it. Then, probably after month and a half, I wanted to revisit some of the older tech back in open beta Multiverses. That's really when I started kind of seeing if there's a way to optimize things like the wave landing stuff that you're seeing people do a lot more now, the tri-dashes. Also looking at different things like, okay, how do I combo better? And that was a big one, trying to find ways to see like, all right, am I able to move faster to get some places so I can get some of these extensions I normally want to be able to get, right? That's going to be one of the ways that you can find a way to improve the combo game. But then the second one, of course, is how do I just get more frame advantage? And that one's going to be a little bit harder, right? So I started looking into that, especially with LeBron. LeBron's dunk being so different in comparison to the old beta into this one. I was like, I need to find a conversion where I can actually dunk, and I want to be able to do it without a platform. I hope there is some kind of way to do this, and that was something that really motivated me. Was able to find it, and the key was the double ground bounce. So again, I talked about earlier about what double ground bounce tends to be, but there's also a other situation you can set up, and it's when an opponent gets hit when they're in a ground bounce state. First and foremost, for those of you who aren't aware, there are some kind of iframes on a ground bounce, so you can't just hit someone immediately once they're in the ground bounce state, right? There's a little point afterwards where they're actually able to be hit. And if you hit them in that window, what will happen is your knockback on that general attack will actually be lower than it typically is. For whatever reason, that seems to be the case. And what does that really do? Well, if you have less knockback and you still have the same hit stun, that means the overall distance in which you have to travel to combo an opponent is shorter. So essentially, you're getting more frame advantage, right? Or you just need, you don't need as much time spent to get to where the opponent is to continue your combo. But what I found really fascinating is some moves, they already have a low knockback. For example, LeBron's offstage or his off-ball Sair, right? Side aerial. That move itself doesn't really knock people back too far. Has a bit of hit stun, just enough so you can do a combo, usually an aerial or going into a jab. But when someone's airborne and they're at higher percents, it actually still puts the opponent into tumble, and because of the way ground bounce, hit stun, and knockback operates, you can get a ground bounce from Sair, something that you normally wouldn't get, right? And that also allows you to get extensions you normally wouldn't get. Now, I expect that this will probably be tweaked in some capacity. I don't think this was necessarily intended, but you didn't really see people abuse it too much into open beta. And to my knowledge, I don't see many people really just labbing this out right now. I feel like I'm one of the only people who's kind of labbing out this stuff. I'm sure Void's probably looking at it a little bit, and a couple other people I know who are down for that knowledge. You know, shout outs to Quirky, you know, Meow Mix, Earthquake, you know, all those kind of people who are willing to lab out and go ham. So I'm sure there's some people that are looking there, but right now I don't see it nearly enough. So let's take a look at these and then let's come back to it. All right, well, those were the conversions that I've been able to find as of right now. I'm sure there's a ton more. But yeah, I wanted to share this with everybody and see if anyone can kind of take this stuff and figure out some cool sequences with it. I'm sure there's a ton more to be explored there. But you know what? It's easier to do with a bunch of people doing it at the same time versus just one person, right? Out in a silo. Or heck, like I said before, maybe there's some other people who've already found some secret tech with this stuff. But anyways, I wanted to finally show this off. I've been sitting on this stuff for a little bit, but wanted to show it to the community and see what they make of it. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for being here and keeping me company. Feel free to like, follow, and subscribe, and I will see y'all next time. All right, peace.